Xenomorphs, the apex predators of the universe, are capable of planetary dominance if left unchecked. Their origins trace back to the enigmatic space jockeys, whose unparalleled genetic engineering gave rise to these terrifying creatures. To uncover this mysterious genesis, we must journey back in time to the engineers' discovery of a primordial organic substance with untold potential. Recognizing its transformative qualities, they manipulated it for their own advancement, eliminating rival factions in the process. The narrative begins with the engineers, and they visit to the distant Triangulum Galaxy. There lies an enigmatic planet known as Knox. Lush with plants, insects, oceans, and teeming with mammalian life, became a focal point for the engineers, an ancient race renowned for their genetic engineering prowess. The engineers visited Knox with a clear purpose to seek out new life forms and conduct experiments using their most potent tool, the black goo, to unlock the secrets of life and evolution. As the engineers explored the expansive landscape upon landing on planet, the engineers were awestruck by its vibrant ecosystems, which were rich in diverse species. The planet's biosphere presented an ideal laboratory for their genetic experiments. The engineers began by introducing controlled amounts of black goo into various life forms, observing the transformative effects with scientific rigor. During a genetic experiment, one of the engineers was unknowingly exposed to a concentrated form of the black goo. Spores were released, infecting the engineer upon contact. Shortly after exposure, the engineer began to convulse uncontrollably, quickly losing control and collapsing to the ground. This variant of the black goo bypassed the usual incubation period, leading to the immediate emergence of alien life. The creature that materialized was the inaugural deacon, distinguished by its dark blue skin and pointed head. Later, a team of engineers discovered the lifeless body of their fellow brother, his torso completely torn apart. They quickly realized he had been in contact with the black goo, which had given life to a new mutated species. A recon team was immediately established to search for and capture the new alien form. After some time, the engineers' special forces managed to locate and capture it. Once in captivity, the engineers initiated a series of experiments on the deacon, subjecting it to repeated exposure to the black goo. This relentless exposure catalyzed a swift and remarkable evolution, transforming it into a vastly more advanced and formidable entity known as the Archdeacon. This new form retained the physical traits, but now demonstrated heightened intelligence and the ability to manipulate its genetic code on demand. As the engineers pushed the boundaries of their experimentation, the Archdeacon developed telepathic abilities, allowing it to communicate and control other mutated life forms on planet. These life forms, transformed into various variants of Neomorphs by the black goo, became loyal minions to the Archdeacon. With its telepathic command over the swarm of Neomorphs, he orchestrated a devastating assault on the engineers' outpost. Chaos erupted across the once serene landscape. The engineers, recognizing the imminent danger, rallied their forces and unleashed a barrage of advanced weaponry and defensive technologies in a desperate bid to repel the onslaught. However, the sheer ferocity and overwhelming numbers of the Neomorphs proved to be more than the engineers had anticipated. Despite their valiant efforts and tactical prowess, they found themselves pushed to their limits as wave after wave of mutated creatures relentlessly attacked their defenses. The Archdeacon's strategic telepathic coordination added another layer of complexity to the battle, as it directed the Neomorphs with uncanny precision, exploiting weaknesses and adapting to the engineers' countermeasures with alarming speed. Each coordinated strike brought the engineers closer to defeat, as their outpost began to crumble under the relentless assault. Despite their resilience and determination, the engineers were ultimately outmatched by the combined might of the Archdeacon and its mutated minions. As the outpost fell into chaos and destruction, the surviving engineers were left with no choice but to retreat, their ranks depleted and their spirits shaken by the devastating defeat. With unwavering determination, the remaining engineers devised a meticulous plan to ensnare and capture the Archdeacon, the malevolent force that had brought devastation upon their outpost. Crafting a powerful containment device, they meticulously calibrated its mechanisms to trap the Archdeacon and render it powerless. However, executing this plan meant confronting the Archdeacon head-on, plunging into the heart of danger with no guarantee of survival. As the engineers prepared for the perilous mission ahead, they steeled themselves for the inevitable sacrifices that lay ahead, knowing that the path to victory would be paved with the blood of their fallen comrades. In the ensuing battle, the engineers found themselves in a harrowing struggle against the relentless onslaught of the Archdeacon and its swarming minions. Despite their technological superiority and valiant efforts, the engineers were quickly overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity and cunning tactics of their adversaries. Wave after wave of Neomorphs descended upon them, their vicious attacks tearing through the engineers' defenses with ruthless efficiency. Amidst the chaos and carnage, the engineers fought with unwavering determination, but the odds were stacked against them. The Archdeacon, with its telepathic command over the Neomorphs, orchestrated the assault with calculated precision, exploiting every weakness and pressing the engineers to their breaking point. Despite their best efforts to activate the containment device, they were met with relentless resistance, and the device remained dormant, unable to fulfill its intended purpose. Realizing the futility of their efforts and the dire situation they faced, the remaining engineers made the difficult decision to retreat to their spaceship, the Juggernaut. With heavy hearts and grim resolve, they understood that drastic measures were necessary to prevent the Archdeacon and its mutated followers from spreading further havoc and destruction. In a final act of desperation, the engineers initiated the launch sequence for the ship's devastating payload, a series of nuclear warheads capable of obliterating the planet and all life forms upon it. With a heavy sense of sorrow and resignation, they watched as the missiles streaked towards planet Knox, knowing that their actions would result in the annihilation of the Archdeacon and its minions, as well as the sacrifice of all life on the planet. As the blinding flash of nuclear fire consumed Knox, the engineers bore witness to the destruction they had unleashed in their bid to contain the threat posed by the Archdeacon. With heavy hearts and solemn reverence, they turned their ship away from the devastated world, knowing that their actions had ensured the survival of countless other worlds and civilizations from the insidious influence of the Archdeacon and its dark legacy. The destruction of planet Knox marked the end of a harrowing chapter for the engineers. The mission, which began as a quest for knowledge and advancement, ended in tragedy and loss. The surviving engineers, haunted by their creation, vowed to abandon their experiments with the black goo, recognizing the catastrophic consequences of their hubris. The planet, once a vibrant world full of life, became a barren wasteland, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked genetic manipulation. The engineers returned to their homeworlds, carrying the weight of their failure and the lessons learned from their encounter with the Archdeacon. We trust you found this gripping tale of survival both thrilling and chilling, just as we intended. Thank you for your viewership, and remember, rather than fearing the darkness, embrace the opportunity to explore its depths. Until we meet again, prepare yourself for more heart-pounding content right here, where each story serves as a portal to the unimaginable. Farewell for now, and brace yourself for the thrilling journey ahead.